Hello everyone and welcome back to the Part-Time Gamers YouTube channel. I am Walchi, one half of the Part-Time Gamers, and welcome back to Part-Time Gamers Weekly, our weekly show where we go through all the hot topics in video games, talk about what we've been playing, and of course go through our Part-Time Gamers Game Club, Game of the Month. This week we've got a very special episode. We're going to be reviewing Sifu. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but we wanted to take our time with it, enjoy it. And obviously we don't get review codes or anything like that. But yeah, we're ready to review it. We're also going to discuss what we've been playing, as I said, and talk about our Game Club Game of the Month. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. Let's get into topic of the week. Topic of the week. Okay, Sifu. So Sifu is incredible. I am a humongous fan of Sifu. It was a game which, when I saw the trailers and stuff in the PlayStation showcase and whatnot, I always thought it looked really cool. I really liked the concept, kind of like not a Street Fighter, but like a brawler, like a Streets of Rage mixed with a Tekken. That's how I like to describe it. It's a bit like your fighting game, like a Tekken or a Street Fighter, mixed with a brawler. Like Streets of Rage, and it is just so fun to play. Yes, it is very difficult, do not get me wrong, it is very difficult, and at times it can feel frustrating, but if you can persevere with it and continue and improve, and you will notice a drastic improvement in your ability if you keep practicing and playing, sorry for my cough again, then this game can be incredibly satisfying and an incredibly fun time. It is it's a small game and it can be beaten in probably less than 2 hours if you are some sort of absolute expert at the game. It might take a bit longer than that, maybe like 3 to 4 if it was like your first ever playthrough. But if you was to ever beat this on your first ever playthrough, I would be stunned. Absolutely stunned. But of course, once you've played through levels, you can get shortcuts and stuff. So once you know the levels and have done the levels and you've got a bit of ability, you can beat this game pretty quickly. I could probably now beat this game relatively quickly. I reckon I could do this in a night easily. Not at a decent age. So for those of you that don't know, every time you die in this game, you get older. Your death counter goes up. So if you die once, your death counter goes to 1, then you turn a year older. So you start at age 20, you go to 21. If I was to then die again very quickly, that death counter adds 1 on and becomes 2, and it adds 2 to my age, so I become 23, and so on and so forth. So if you keep dying repeatedly, that will get very quickly to a high age. So you can even get up to 10, and you can age 10 years in one swoop. To bring that death counter down, you have to kill tough enemies or tough rooms and stuff. Bosses, beat a boss phase, bring it down, stuff like that. So the aim of the game is to keep that death counter as low as possible, and try not to die. And that mechanic was what really sold me on getting the game. It sounded like a really cool and a novel idea, really. It hasn't, from what I can tell, and I like to think I've got a decent knowledge in games, it's not been done before. Obviously there's a lot of Souls games where they have this whole, once you die you have to go back and start again, that kind of thing. But this was different. This was saying, no, you don't have to start again, but if you die too many times, you will have to start again. And that is really why I stuck with this game and persevered and ended up loving it. Whereas a Souls game like a Bloodborne or a Demon Souls, I just can't get along with. It's because if I get to a boss in Demon Souls and die, I have to start at the beginning of that level again and try again. Go through all the enemies before getting to the boss, and I could die to any of them enemies, any of them enemies before even getting to the boss, and then repeat and repeat and repeat. Whereas in Sifu, I can get to the boss. I might die a few times on the way there, but I just spawn straight away a year older or 2 or whatever. But I can then continue from where my progress was, and then I can. So I've got to delete this. Get to the boss, die against the boss, and go against him again. And why that is good for me is because if I die to a boss very quickly in a Bloodborne, I might not have learned anything about that boss. If they kill me very quickly and absolutely dominate me, I'm like, well, what the fuck? I've not learned anything, any of your moves or nothing. You just destroyed me. And then I've got to work all that way up to get to that boss again, and it could happen again. Or this time I might learn one of his moves and how to dodge that, but then you might have another move that I can't get. That's the kind of thing. It's the whole get in there and have to go all the way back. Whereas in Sifu, even if I'm struggling, I can be like, right, I don't care if I die this next time. I just want to learn his moves in this life. Let him learn his routine, learn his rhythm, and then know when to dodge, know when to block, know when to parry, know when to completely avoid the situation completely. And then next time I die and get back up, I'll actually try and beat him. And if you are young enough age, you can get quite a few attempts at that. And that is what ultimately is the reason why I was willing to persevere with this game. If this had a Bloodborne or Souls-like experience where every time you die, you go back to the beginning of the level, I know in those games you go to like campfires and stuff, which are like checkpoints, but they're very far and few between. Then Sifu would have been a no to me. Like that second boss, I should also say, guys, there aren't really many spoilers for Sifu, but I will try and keep it to a minimum anyway. But the second boss is like it's a massive steep learning curve when you get to that second boss. The first level, most people should be able to do it. Even if it's at a really old age, it should be doable. Most of that level is okay to deal with. I think first time I finished it at 27. But that second boss took me a good few attempts to take him down. And it just felt like a massive steep learning curve. And a lot of people will, and I did, think, fuck me, this might be too tough. This might be my stopping point. I might not be able to get past this point. And that was where I really fell in love with the game, was when I learned. It forced me to learn how to play this game. And that is, in my opinion, the sign of a good game design and just a good game in general. It forced me to learn the game mechanics. Before that boss, I was not using the avoid feature. So the avoid feature is basically dodging. I wasn't doing that. I was just blocking the whole way through up until that point. And I wasn't, well, there's an avoid and there's a dodge, so it's different. One's avoid, one's dodge. Avoid is like a ducking and weaving, like left and right, and like the move will go there or there or there, whatever, or below, above you. Whereas dodging, I'm pretty sure dodging is where you literally jump out of the way away from the situation. So I was using that, like the jumping out of the way, and I was using the block, but I was not doing this whole ducking and weaving, avoiding thing. But this second boss, you basically have to. There is no other option. You have to do it. It forced me to do it, and I'm so glad it did, because it made me better at the game, and it made me enjoy the game more. And as I said, I think that is what makes a game great, is when they can not punish you, but it force you and teach you to play the game properly. Not properly, but the way that you're supposed to play. Like I say, it's properly. So yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of rambling about the game here at the moment, about what I love about it, but I really do love it. I really do love it. The game design, the level design is incredible. In particular, the first level is great, and the fifth level is great, the last level. But in particular, level 2 and level 3, I think are just so good, and I will remember for my whole life, I'm sure. Level 2 is in I don't want to spoil things, but it's in like a club setting, like neon lights and stuff, and great music. Incredible, incredibly well designed. The aesthetic is amazing. The sounds are incredible. And the boss battle is so hard until you've learned how to deal with him. Now I can go against him and not die once, which is mind-blowing if you would have told me that before. But yeah, as I was saying, the third level is in a museum, which when I started I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this one. But about halfway through that level, actually the first half is good, but halfway through that level it just takes a turn, and it is so cool. The build up to the third boss is so damn cool. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's going to play this, but it's immense. It is amazing. And that's not to say the other levels aren't good. Like level 4 is in a in a tower, which is a good level as well. Not quite to the other levels, but it's a well designed level. Level 5 is cool as well. I can now do level 5 up until the boss, the whole of level 5 without dying, but that that fucking last boss, we'll get to that anyway. Yeah, what other things can I talk about? So I love the aesthetic, as I said, the levels have been designed superbly. It's colourful. I love the kind of art style that it's got. I absolutely love the art style. I love the audio, particularly the club level. The audio in the club level is just insane. The gameplay, obviously I've said about how I like the dodging and stuff, is some of the most satisfying gameplay I've ever played, I think. The fighting, it just makes you feel so fucking badass, especially when you pull it off well. If you parrying, I've never been a massive fan of parrying in games. Like everyone goes on about parrying in the Souls games and whatnot. And yes, it can be very satisfying in them games, but in this game, fuck me, if you do it right, it makes you feel like an absolute martial arts master. It really is incredible. And it's just so satisfying. I like all the different moves you get. I like using the focus, which is basically, it slows down time when you do a special move. Super satisfying. But yeah, the dodging and the parrying and that stuff, that is actually what I found to be most satisfying. And that is the stuff which I wasn't using enough until the game forced me to do it. And as I keep saying, excellent game design to force me to do that and teach me to do that. So yeah, as you can tell, love the game. The boss battles, love them. The first boss battle was cool, really cool. Second one, really tough, but really cool as well. Really, the second level is probably the best level and one of the best levels I've played in video games in a long time. I think I've said that in a recent review or something. Was it on Prey? I can't remember, I said it on something. So obviously there's other games with great levels, basically. But this second level in Sifu is insane. The third boss is where I'm gonna put my first complaint on the game. The first phase of the third boss, and again, spoilers I guess, but hopefully if you're listening to this you don't mind too much. If you do, then maybe skip 10 minutes or so. The third boss, I don't like her first phase. Her first phase is very... Well, saying that, I have learnt a cool way of beating her in that first phase, but in general, that's the worst phase of any of the bosses. It's very boring and slow, and hard to predict, which I guess is intentional, but from all the boss battles, it's just the one where I'm like, I dread it when I come up against it. Although recently I have learnt a cool way to beat her quite quick in that first phase, so I guess you can argue that it's not as bad anymore, but it's still not, it's not fantastic. The second phase of her fight is cool. She's very strong and it can be frustrating, but it's much cooler. One thing I will say is it does, because I won't spoil things, but it shows that she has two different sides to her. This first phase is very calm and collected and slow, whereas the second phase is very rampant, random, and just absolutely chaotic. And I like that juxtaposition, but in general, that first phase I don't like. And it's probably the first part of the game which I didn't like. Yeah, and probably maybe the only part of the game. Fourth boss, a cool boss. She's actually easy to kill if you can get close to her. Her problem is that she has got a weapon with a very long range to it, and it is hard to get in close to her. You have to learn her moves to the T, and then get in close after you've dodged and stuff. But once you get close to her, her health and her structure is quite small. So I think that was well designed, and the second phase of that boss battle, the where you are, the arena is really cool. So yeah, she's a cool boss. I'd put her probably second, you know. I think the club boss is the best. Maybe her second, maybe. The last boss, again, I don't want to spoil things. It's quite obvious as soon as you start the game who the last boss is going to be. He is extremely hard, but it's also probably the least exciting boss battle because there's no kind of special thing about him. The first one, he jumps about a lot and he has a knife and he's kind of crazy. The second one has his I don't even know what you call it, but he has a pole which he uses and swings against you, and he's very good with the pole. The third one has her like nunchuck shit, and the fourth one has her long range weapon. The fifth guy, the last guy, has no weapons. The only difference in that battle is that you can't use your focus, which is fucking tough, which makes it so much harder than it should be. But other than that, there's no real kind of special element about his fight. He is basically you. He's not. That is not a spoiler. He isn't you. He's a very different person. But all of your moves, he knows your moves, and he's learned the same moves as you, which is why you can't use a focus. And he basically can he'll use your moves against you and stuff. And he is hard, very hard to beat. And the first time I beat him, I was age 69. To put that into context, once you get above 70 and die, you're out. So I had two deaths left to use. So got quite lucky the first time. Sorry, my cough, man. So yeah, the last boss is a bit of a. It's a fun fight because it's so hard, and it is really about patience and parrying. Parrying is the key in that fight, by the way. Get good at parrying, and you can beat the game. Whereas the first three, I would argue, the second, third, and fourth bosses is more about the avoiding. The fifth boss is about parrying. And if you have the ability where as you parry it damages their structure, if you have that all the way up, you'll do much better, trust me. Anyway, that's a little bit of advice. This review's gone on too long, but basically I am in love with this game. I have very, very few small nitpicks. The third boss and arguably the last boss, but even that, I understand the whole reason behind his boss fight, so I'm not as negative about that one. But that third boss fight is a bit naff. But yeah, the game in general is amazing. I can't really say much bad about it. Normally when I die, it's normally my fault. Sometimes I'm like, come on, I pressed that button. But most of the time it's because I've fucked up. I've accidentally pressed the wrong thing or dodged the wrong way or not dodged in time, and I know it's my fault. And as I've said many times, I believe that the game design in this game is top notch and forced me to get good, and it made me want to get good, which is the difference between other games. So yeah, I love this game. I would highly recommend it. Obviously, we do a new rating score on this show, PTG Game Weekly, which has normally been reserved for our Part-Time Gamers Game Club, but I'm also opening it up to any other game that we play and review on the show. So Sifu is going to get our first platinum trophy rating. It is, for those that don't know, our rating system, we're a bit different. We're not doing like a 5-point scale or a 10-point scale. We're actually kind of doing a 4-point scale, which is kind of weird, but we're not professional reviewers or anything. We're basically categorizing games into 4 different slots. It's either platinum, gold, silver, or bronze based on the PlayStation trophy system. Bronze being pretty shit game. I wouldn't bother trying it. If you get it for free, maybe, but I wouldn't spend money on it, and it's not worth your time. Silver it's an okay game. Maybe try it if it sounds like your kind of thing, but it's not groundbreaking, it's not incredible, and it's not. Don't rush out to play it. Gold this game is great. You should probably try it. If it doesn't look like your thing, I still recommend at least trying it, that kind of thing. Platinum is this is a incredible gaming experience. This is potentially a Game of the Year contender, one of the best games of all time. All those kind of things in that category. And I'm putting Sifu in there. I'm putting Sifu straight in that platinum. Our first platinum award on Part-Time Gamers Weekly. Is it a Game of the Year contender? In my opinion, yes, it will be. Right now, it's my Game of the Year, and honestly, it's going to be hard to overtake it. And I'm saying that with Horizon Forbidden West is out now. I'm about 16 hours into that, and I'm loving it, by the way. God of War Ragnarok is supposedly coming out this year, which, as you all know, God of War is my favourite game of all time. So surely that's going to overtake Sifu. Hogwarts Legacy may come out. There's so many games that could come out this year and be better than Sifu. But I'm really starting to doubt that. Like, I cannot tell you how much I love Sifu. Hopefully this review has come across and proven that I love Sifu. And for me, it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. Will it be in the Game Awards? I don't know. It might, it might. I think it won't win Elden Ring, or probably Elden Ring's going to win it after what we've seen this week in the reviews. But I would love it if Sifu was at least mentioned. I think it will win awards. It will win something. Might not win Game of the Year, but it will win something, whether that's audio design or like visual design. It will win something, I'm sure. I'll be very disappointed if it doesn't. But yeah, I think it's a Game of the Year contender. I think it's one of the best games I've played in a very long time, and I think it's worth everyone at least trying. I understand, obviously I had a whole episode talking about difficulty, that it's not going to be for everyone and not everyone's going to want to persevere with it. But for those that do and those that want to, you will have an amazing time and you will love this game. I'm convinced of that. So yeah, that is the Sifu review. Before we do stop, Fipsy, obviously the other half of Part-Time Gamers, has also played Sifu. He also loves the game. He gives it a gold rating. He is not as in love with it as I am, clearly, because he's given it gold, where I've given it platinum. But he has said it, he loves the game. He's put in about 10 hours, where I've put in about 17. And yeah, he's given it a gold. So don't just take my opinion on this being a platinum, being one of the best games ever. Fipsy, who is normally he's better at games than me, has said this is a gold, and he's not as into it as I am. But he loves it and he would recommend it. So take that with what you will. We're both with different opinions on this. I am sure he's going to be playing Elden Ring tonight, because it's come out tonight, and he'll probably think that's a platinum, whereas if I played it, I'd probably think it's a silver. So I think it's good to get different opinions, and that's what we try to do here on the Part-Time Gamers. So yeah, that is the Sifu review. Hope you enjoyed that, and let's move on to the Part-Time Gamers Game Club.
The Part-Time Gamers Game Club.
Okay, not going to say much here because I'm going to save it more for next week. Obviously, the Part-Time Gamers Game Club game of the month for February is the medium. As I said previously, I've already beaten it. It didn't take long, so there's not much to say. I've beaten it, and I'm saving my thoughts for the review. What I will say is, I'm just looking at my Part-Time Gamers Weekly schedule here. I had scheduled next week to be a Horizon Forbidden West review. That's not going to happen. I am not going to beat that game in time. So I'm probably going to switch it around because the medium review is going to be after that. So I'm probably going to have the medium review next week. So we're going to review medium next week. So I'll save my thoughts for that. But if you've been playing, let me know how far you are. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And I guess because we're reviewing it next week, if you want to get your thoughts in on the game before the review, then please let me know in the comments or tweet me or Instagram DM, or come into our Twitch chat and tell me there, because I can then talk about your reviews and your thoughts on the game next week when I review it. So look forward to that. And then obviously, hopefully the week after that, I'll maybe review Horizon Forbidden West, which leads us smoothly onto what we've been playing. So I've just remembered I was meant to tell you all apologies for not having an episode of this last week. I did tweet about it, but obviously not everyone follows us on Twitter. I was really ill last week and I had no energy to record a Part-Time Games Weekly, so I decided to skip a week, and obviously we're back this week with a Sifu review. I did beat Sifu last week, so I beat it just in time to actually do this last week, but it's literally that night I beat Sifu, I went to bed and I was not well, and I wasn't well for a few days. And as you can tell, I was actually losing this cough. I was losing it and it came back, just fucking me off. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, what I've been playing? Sifu. I've been playing a lot of Sifu. I beat Sifu. And actually today, literally today, I actually managed to get the hardest trophy on the game, which is to to beat the game age 25 or younger. So effectively, as you can probably work out in your head, I can't die any more than 5 times in the whole game. On my run, I didn't die in the first 3 boss, the whole first 3 levels. I managed to do them all without dying. Not in one run. Like obviously you can, once you've done the first level, you can try the second level, and if you die, you can start at 20 again and start again. I did do the first 2 levels without dying non-stop. I was pretty happy with that. But the third level, that third boss fucked me up a few times. But I managed to get her down to... I didn't die against her. The fourth boss, she's a bitch. And right near the end, she beat me. And I contemplated whether to try again. But I was like, fuck it. Let's just go into this last level at 21. It gives me 4 years to play with to get this trophy. And I've been trying to get this trophy for a few days against this last boss, and he is so difficult. He is so bloody difficult. As I said, I've been focusing on unlocking the parrying ability where it staggers them, does that stagger damage to the enemies. It is very useful. There's a couple of times I come close to beating him or beating the level younger than 25 or 25 or younger, but not quite. But today I managed to do it on my lunch break. I managed to do it. I beat him literally age 25, and he was that close to killing me again. But I got him, and that is one of the most satisfying things I've had in games in years. One of the hardest things I've done in games in years is trying to beat him younger than 25. Probably since I beat God of War on the hardest difficulty. It was that difficult. But yeah, now that I've got that trophy, I am going to try and get the platinum, because that was the only one I was not quite sure if I'd be able to do it. And because I've done it, I'm pretty confident I can get the platinum at some point. So I'll keep you updated on that. I'll probably be telling you every week that I've been playing Sifu, because I just love it that much. Also been playing Horizon Forbidden West, which came out last Friday, so a week ago today. I put it at 16 hours, 17 hours, and I put most of that in that first weekend. This week I've been playing a bit more Sifu because I don't want to lose my skills. But I've still been playing an hour or so here and there. And yeah, I'm loving this game so far. It is Horizon Zero Dawn, but improved upon in so many ways. The biggest complaint I would have had about Horizon Zero Dawn would have been the character designs. I thought they all had weird faces in Zero Dawn. There was just something slightly off on all of them. Every single one of them, I don't know if their eyes were too big or their face was too... I couldn't put a finger on it. But in this game, my God, it might be the best game I've ever looked at. It might be the most impressive game I've seen, particularly in character models. And what is most impressive is that every single side character that you talk to, or not even a side character, every single person you can talk to, and they have like a cutscene close-up with, is impeccable. It's incredible. And we're not talking 10 people. We're talking I've not even touched the surface of this game. There's probably hundreds that all look as good as they do. And the voice acting for every single one of them, every single one of them has been fantastic. It really is. The attention to detail is insane. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying some of the new enemy types, the machines. And the story so far is really good as well. And another thing I will say is the side missions. They're so much improved, and actually all seem to have the kind of caliber of a main mission. Like, sometimes you forget you're on a side mission because they're that good. So yeah, I am very, very impressed with this game. And the fact that we've had Sifu and this, or I've had Sifu and this game within weeks of each other, and arguably could be two of my Game of the Year contenders, is insane. And then you've got Fipsy, who's probably going to have Elden Ring as one of his game contenders. That's come out today. Game of the Year contender, sorry. It's been an insane month for video games. And that's basically what I've been playing. I played a little bit of FIFA here and there, just career mode. I started playing a bit of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond or Shining Diamond. But I'm kind of just playing that just to kill time sometimes. And I played a bit of Brain Training on DS as well. I've started that, which I'm really enjoying actually. Brain Training, classic, love that game. I think that's what I played a little bit of Gears Judgment again with Scott. I think we're really close to finishing that. I think we're one act away from finishing that, and then there's like not a prequel, it's not a sequel, like a prologue. That's the one after the game. Is it a prologue? I think it's a prologue to do as well. But yeah, almost finished Gears Judgment. So yeah, I think that's all I've been playing, and there's not much else to say. I think that's going to be it for this week, guys. Obviously, I do want to say, hopefully this video comes out in time. If it doesn't, I apologise, but Fipsy will be playing Elden Ring tonight and probably all weekend, and he will be streaming it on our Twitch channel. It's a massive event. Elden Ring is out finally after all these years. I probably won't be giving it a go, not for a few weeks at least, if not ever. But Fipsy's been super excited for this, and he's super excited to play it tonight and for the rest of the weekend. If you do want to watch some Elden Ring gameplay, please do go and check out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/thepart-time-gamers. It'll be in the description below. And yeah, show him some support. He'll really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to watching him play it, because I don't want to play it myself, but I'm looking forward to watching him play it. And yeah, we might have some YouTube videos on it, and stuff like that. So check him out on Twitch this weekend. And I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. As I said, next week we will do our medium review, our Part-Time Gamers Game Club of the month. And we'll also decide our next Part-Time Gamers Game Club of the month for March, which I already think I know what it's going to be. If you've got PlayStation Plus, you will have the game. So yeah, we'll discuss that next week. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to talk about? I don't think so. Medium next week. Hopefully Horizon Forbidden West review the week after that. Yeah, apologies, there might not be an Elden Ring review unless Fipsy wants to do one, because I'm just not going to be doing it. But yeah, after that, I've kind of not got much else on the calendar. We need some more gaming news, which I'm sure there will be plenty. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the Sifu review. I'm really interested in your comments. What do you think of Sifu, if you've been playing it? Do you agree with my comments? Do you think it's as incredible as I say, or are you not as hot on it? Do you think it's a Game of the Year contender? Do you think it's one of the best games you've ever played? Really, honestly, let me know in the comments. I'm really interested in your thoughts. Obviously, the medium, our Part-Time Gamers Game Club of the month. Let us know what you think of that game ahead of our review next week. And also, just let me know what you've been playing. If you've been playing something else. Are you playing Elden Ring? Are you playing Elden Ring this weekend? Let me know in the comments. Please leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe for more. And obviously, all of our links down below, our TikTok, our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Twitch. Please do go and give them all a follow as well. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you next week.